Round 1. Capture the objective.
Alright, first fight. You're gonna see Titans. With the comp they are playing right here, Doomfist Pharah, they want to surround whatever Justice are playing. And they probably expect Justice to play on point. They have a Reaper or something, May. And now you're pretty much only setting up the Doomfist, you're setting up a Doomfist one shot while spamming with the Pharah, and then you have the Rissa here. in order to orb into the punch or orb into the Pharah spam. And it becomes really easy for them to just wear out people. And Hurig here. Now, because, well, yeah, okay. Sorry about the voice. So the reason he could go in here is because he sets up cross point, goes to high grounds, and it's 1 second. It's just super easy to disengage for him, because since he did set up on high ground, which it means he doesn't have to use that many abilities. Just use one uppercut to get up here. That's fine. Then you have your punch and your E ability to get out with. Mob, thanks so much for your sub. So yeah, that's how you get out, super easy, and you're trying to go for the picks here. Now, he couldn't kill the Mei. And, yeah. Justice the cap point. How you doing, Mob? Or Riot? I'll just say Riot. So they get the kill, but then Hurig dies. And, more people will die on more people will die, both on Justice and the Titans, like you see Bumper, Jonas, Sansam, etc. But since Justice have point control, and they block the punch, they block Pharah spam, Titans, they have to reset. They just have to, let's say, make something happen or reset. Meowth comes out. I will let you know later. In Scrim we have a break. No worries, man. No worries, man. So there's the reset. And now Justice, they're gonna play on point again. They're just gonna take it easy, chill. And Titans, they're gonna set up. Same thing. Punch into some uppercut or maybe a right click or whatever. And Justice, he blocked the punch with a wall, which meant Hurig couldn't go in. Let's see, Corey will die here, eventually. He's pretty far out. Let's see, Huxal got him. And it's fine to go for the bongos. Now, I think because he went for the bongos, it just was forced off. Out in the open here, that's fine. He has fade, and then a direct comes in. Alright, people dead. Ults used. Nothing special really, it's just a long fight. So yeah, Jonah poops off people, but there's a Mei ult. Eventually everyone dies though. And that's alright. So Titans, they're gonna hold the... They're gonna try and hold them here at the... I don't know. I don't think they're trying to hold them at spawn, but they're just trying to get some spam damage in. Stratus gets a pick on Huxal. And yeah, Huxal is dead now. That can't be rest. Or it can, okay. Never mind. It gets rest. How you guys doing, by the way? Better days, 100 cups of coffee. Zinedine.
Gale de Mahol.
And yeah. If we go back here after the rest,
Dein Schutzengel ist da.
I like the way Justice. Just gonna adjust my mic here. Sorry. I like the way Justice tries to avoid the Doomfist punch. May ult coming up soon, or not soon, but is there anything you can do as Titans? I think the issue that Titans had that basically lost in point control. It's kind of obvious, right? Haxal dying at the start here. If we go from Starter's perspective, that's just aiming. That's no strat, so to say. That's just pure aiming. And yeah. How do they survive fire damage? With the fire... So... If we go here from Haxal's point of view, I think we have to go in earlier. Or like, look at the earlier fights. They play Corey outside of Pharah LOS. And then they have Moira heals. They have Lucio heals. And they just block the line of sight from direct hits. And... the majority of the kills, or how to say picks, they come in because of Doomfist instead, not because of Pharah. So if we go here and check this first fight. This may be a bit further back actually.
Thanks for the assist.
I haven't seen from which angles exactly he looks at, but he can't go in for his own how to say, he can't sit here forever because of the icicles from Mei. And I think, okay, actually I think I know. So Haxal here, he probably has the objective of spamming in Janus and Corey, well, frontline, while Hurek goes in for, that's a giant arm, by the way, that's some Popeye arm, but it's sort of like when you play double sniper, you have crossfire. I think that's the objective of the comp from Titans, because if you're both spamming, how to say, the backline, you as Pharah, you can't really sit here, or you have to be in the doorway, so to say. You can't really sit outside, or here, or in the front. But since you have Orisa here, you don't want them to matrix both your Pharah spam and Orisa spam. So you might as well have Pharah on the side here, and then Doomfist on the other one, and then you have Anna somewhere else. So you just cover all doorways, basically, all entries. Ranov, thank you so much for your sub, Ranov, and glad you like the content. So I hope this is explaining some, like how it all works. We will see Maywall used. So you mentioned like Maywall for some Pharah, but Maywall will be later used for, or it was later used for denying the Doomfist punch because of Hurek setting up here on high ground above point, and then he drops just from above with the punch, has this E ability and uppercut available, you know, in case he wants to escape. So we can continue looking here. I think Haxal is just told to spam the Orisa. And that's the thing. Or the target call is the Orisa. For him. And then, yeah. If we go back here, I wanna look at this. This is kinda silly, the way he walks in from behind. Okay, so soon. Here. You get nano. Unfortunately, misdirect. Oh, Hurag is frozen. Never mind. I thought that was someone else. Alright, let's go for next round. So, I assume there's no more questions on the comp there, but it's pretty easy to figure out what happened. It was Justice holding on point, denying the Doomfist one shot, and when you don't get that one shot, the Pharah spam is too insignificant when it's only on Janus, because that's gonna get matrixed, blocked by shield, and then he has Fortify. His uppercut slam is unreliable because you can't reach sufficient height to slam out far enough. It's shown continuously throughout the round. Doesn't he use his slam to just back out? Or that's what he did. He uses his slam to just back out and without the uppercut. But I see what you mean, like you can't slam far out enough, you barely get out, basically. And I agree with that, 100%. Yes, we have Ruins now. First fight, we're gonna see the same comp from Justice. Titans, they play with Widow. Really good map for Widow. And Justice, I have no idea what was the the trigger to go in. But they seem to just all in like it's goats. Like you just go for May wall and try to brawl. Forest TPing, couldn't find anything. Here's a May wall blocking out people. Jonas is gonna set up by point. Also to try and kill Bumper. Eventually kills are coming in. But only after the cap point. Now, Slime here, he was supposed to be touching point. It was a tiny bit too late though. Tiny bit. And then, let's see, Guido uses Coalescence and it's just too hard to keep anyone alive here. Also because Axel is split here. I think that's what happens here. So Coalescence comes up. No, it's not because Haxa is split. He gets orbed. And then frozen. Titans, they're gonna switch afterwards. Would only use uppercut to prevent being frozen. Otherwise, if you only use slam, you get cleaned up by Reaper and Diva. You still get frozen if you uppercut, don't you? Because the roof is so small indoors. In any case, Justice kiting back here. I think they tried to just get a. I don't think they tried to do anything special here more than just find how to say, smooth charge. Bongos used means you have to kite back. You can't really duel it. Why not run Pharah on this map after losing first fight? That's a good point. That's a really good point. There's nothing to stop the Pharah. I think it's because they just haven't planned for Pharah. Mayalt comes out, Bongos, and then Coalescence as well. That's a ton of damage. And for the next fight, you're gonna have Diva Bomb and Core's ult. And yeah, Titans, they didn't get anything with their Bongos. Twilight, he still hasn't gotten Coalescence. Slime didn't have his beat. And this is worth pointing out, or like looking at here. Wait. We missed a tiny bit, tiny detail here. John is almost dying. Oh wait, the fight was over there. He's super low, so he doesn't want to fortify and ends up fortifying anyways and almost dying. How do you find the bumpers Orisa so far? I don't think the Orisa has done anything right now, like of significance. It's more to just stay alive, because you can't really go for Reinhardt, you can't go for Monkey, can't go for Ball when you're playing Doomfist Pharah into the Mei. And on this, how to say, on this point, Orisa is mainly to just survive. And yeah, Death Blossom plus Bomb, you're pretty guaranteed to get kills. Let's take a look here again. Why Diva instead of Hog? Because when attacking, so Titans, they didn't have anything more than Hog Orisa. They had Hog Orisa, Mei, Widow. And as Justice, you just have to eat the orb, or you eat for the hook, you set up on point and all that stuff, look for walls. And because of Titans then attacking, you don't necessarily need the Hog. I don't think you have any good chance to orb hook either, because everyone's gonna play far back, there's like open sight lands. See here. Bomb plus Death Blossom, that gets matrixed. But it's not a super hard combo to pull off this, but just getting that pick on Twilight is huge, because Coalescence is gone. And yeah, there's nothing more to it. Like, you lose out one person, it's also support, and then an ult. Is it because Mei Wall plus 45 plus Matrix can block? Yeah, well, it is that the Mei Wall blocks the hook, of course, but you can also play super far up with the Orisa and everyone else far back, and you don't really need to, how to say, be careful with the hooks, as if you're playing Volskaya, for example. Volskaya is way more different. Not different. I mean, it's more difficult to survive the orb hook combos, because you have to push through a choke that you're already holding. Now, when you're attacking with the Orisa Hog, it's not that easy to get orb hooks on Koth. Now, this is 2 CP, which means you're gonna have chokes here. Here's a choke. Here's another choke. And there's always gonna be a limit to how far back the defense can go. While on Koth, it's not entirely the same. I also don't know exactly why. I don't know exactly why. This is just my guess. Alright, first point. Justice, they're gonna play safe, they're gonna play slow, they're gonna try to find good walls or good orb hook combos. And Corey here, Mr. Corey, obviously dies first. But he's gonna be on his own flanks. He's gonna be very, very liberal, or like, how to say it, free to flank as he wants. And he's gonna challenge the enemy sniper. Let's see. Do I play Widow or Hanzo? Widow seems worst against the shield, but can ignore healing, so my fear is that Hanzo is just used to climb up on top of high grounds and burn flanks. Burn tanks. Widow is really good if you just... I think it's a comfort pick for Hureg over Hanzo. And you just go for the support, you go for the headshots, all that stuff. You know, it's the same thing as Hanzo. While Hanzo, like, you have the Storm Arrow, and you can go for the shields, but since they are attacking, it's not entirely the same shield break as if you were Hanzo on defense. Hanzo on defense is way stronger because you can just spam into a choke, right? So they trade here. Did they trade? Baptiste window is gonna come up, and no one is gonna get any kills. Then bongos at the same time for Titans. There's the window, and because of window, you have to be safe. Wall blocking for the hook. And then immortality field out as well. Next up, Titans, they're gonna go split. They're gonna go and split people. Justice, they're gonna wipe. And they're gonna use their own ults as well. They're gonna use trance. And Twilight is gonna get a massive anti-nade. Not this one, but it's gonna be another one. Another massive anti-nade. So here's Justice pushing in. Now they're gonna split people around now, I think. No? Well, we'll see soon. Oh no, split was already done actually. The split was here. I'm reading off my own notes, so that's why it's a bit scuffed. Here's the split onto Stratus. So may ults come out. Let's see Twilight. This is a great position, by the way. Overwatch Mori, thanks so much for your sub. Glad you like the content. And there's the massive nade on Jonas and Sansan. Here we go. And then for next fight, Justice, they're gonna rotate indoors. They're gonna be safe. And they're gonna try to push out Haxal. They're gonna try to push out Twilight. And there Baptiste, Arc, he's gonna kill Bumper and Jono. Wait, Jono is gonna get hooked. But Bumper dies, Jono hooked, and then everyone else dies right after.
60 seconds remaining.
So anytime here. My bad. Corey kills Bumper and then Slime dies. But yeah, doesn't really matter. People die here. Alright, let's go next point. And that's all you need. You need a pick on the Orisa, and she's dead. Well, she is dead, yeah, when she gets picked. That's obvious. Mr. Sherlock here, but the comp is dead, I mean. Nice snap from Hureg. I want to see that again. People die when I kill the caller. That's a nice shot. That's a nice shot. Alright. So Guido dies. They're gonna try to just not die. And this high ground position, I noticed it's It's pretty nice for the attacking side because you can set up your own orb hooks really efficiently. And then you can Mei wall across, I don't know a good call it for this spot, but you make Mei wall across this like gap and then just set up here where Haxal is. And that's one way to force a rotation for, what's it called, Titans. They're gonna wall over. You force the rotation. Mei wall used. And now you see everyone lines up. Orb hook didn't connect. There's the wall. Now we can set up on point. Now, for Stratus, they're gonna get some picks there after Guido. There's the pick on Haxal. Ori popped off on Hanzo here. Not only like this round, but he was just nuts on Hanzo. And now it's just about killing the respawns, making sure people don't come back with a Mei ult or whatever. Haxal did come back with a Mei ult, but there was not enough damage. And yeah, you just cap here. These high ground amp matrices are nice. Let's go back and see that one from POV. Let's see here. Gonna watch it from Arc side. That's a nice immortality field as well. Can't really destroy it. And this is so much spam on the Orisa. I think Bumper tried to rotate back. Did he? We'll see. I think he might just be... No, he's definitely rotating back, yeah. Is he? Okay, so the reason he didn't put down shield on 45 was because he didn't expect to die here. Window comes up and then wall dropped, like instant death. Like you guys see, like he's destroyed. We're gonna take that in slow motion. Okay, we can't go in any slower than this. Here, usually you put down shield and then bongos and everything else at the same time. Just doesn't have enough time at all. Just way too much spam. So yeah, like you can be any Orisa and you wouldn't be able to survive. Now any Orisa, they wouldn't stay there and die. I've been watching Peak for a little, got a VOD review. Oh yeah, but that was before I was even got on a GM team and now screaming 4.4k. Congrats, man. Press Q to respawn. This is a Q fiesta. Luckily, with PTR coming to live next week, ultimates are gonna go up with 12%. Or, how to say, the charge that's required. And 222 is live. And we won't see just old spam in Overwatch League, fortunately. It's a bit how to say, easy to play Overwatch now that ults are just being spammed. It's more about who has the most ultimates compared to who has or who has the strongest ultimates. I mean, instead of who has the best aim, who has the best decision making and all that stuff. Anyways, next round. Gonna take my notes. We're gonna hold for choke here and the Hanzo. If you watch the oversight, you know that Hanzo is there for shield spam. And with the wall in choke, you can just wall off the Orisa, you can wall off everyone, and then you can set up orbs and hooks. Sansam didn't go for hook there, but that also means there's no wall now. I think that Sansam should have gone for the hook. Ah, it's just mistimed. I think you just probably didn't think. You should have gone for that hook there. I don't see any reason to not go for the hook, because if you don't use the hook, your orb is still on cooldown, and so is, well, not your wall, but you're not gonna have to use the wall. Let's see. Sansam is gonna die early, and that's due to orb hook. Here's the orb, and there's the hook. Oh. No. There was a hook, but it missed. Instead it got spammed down. So now Sansam is dead. Jonas no longer can hold alone here. And the Justice, sorry for backing up here, but the Justice, they're gonna play, or they usually play the Orisa alone here, sort of like a Reinhardt. It's basically the same setups as when you have Reinhardt Zarya on Goats. Rein Zarya around here, which is the same as Orisa Hog. Then you have your healers back here, and a Hanzo flanking around. It's pretty much the same thing. Is there a reason Jonas plays in that shed? Yeah, it's okay. So another reason for the shed here is because when Jonas is sitting here, he's breaking line of sight, so no one can damage him. And his shield is then used for the supports and everyone else, while being able to take cover himself. Hey, it's been a while. How you been, Pick? I've been doing great, Cyclone. How you doing yourself? And then shield comes down, but Sansam, he was orbed and out in the open. Didn't have breather, died. And once the hog is gone, you can just put as much pressure as you want yourself, and there's not much you can do. Now Dragon comes in, and Corey is gonna pop off. Stratus uses mails, freezes people. There's 2 kills. Another one coming, and another one. That's from Stratus. And another one. So, what do you do against this as Titans? Well, unsure. There's not much you can do. W-O-A-T. I hope I'm pronouncing it correct. I'm sorry for butchering it, but thank you so much for the nice words. Let's take a look from Rick's perspective. So he's flanking. Actually, let's take a look like this. So before Corey pops off, what do? Mailed comes down, your tanks are frozen. There's not much you can do. You hog and you Zen dead, then Orisa dies. Unless your sniper pops off and kills someone, you just don't have enough firepower. Evoke. Oh, okay. Now, second fight, they're gonna set up a choke again. Oh, sorry. I was about to sneeze there. They're gonna set up a choke again. And Justice, they're gonna set up to have Jonas hold in that shed again. Shed, hut, whatever you want to call it. And it's so similar to Goats, now that I see it. It's just a bit more glass cannon-ish. Corey goes for his own flanks. They also try to set up orb hooks. See that orb hook. First from Jonas and then from Sansa.
Hashtag no peek, no win.
Hashtag no peek, no win. Also, just want to point out, Hex, thank you so much for your sub. By the way, thank you so much for your sub. And, okay. Jonas uses his orb. Sansa, he doesn't use his hook. So there's like this, how to say, not divide, what's it called, like anti-synergy. Sansa, either it's Sansa not being ready or it's Jonas not being ready. I think it's Sansa not being ready because Jonas doesn't have any choice here. He just has to go for the hooks, orbs I mean. Because shield broke, which means Bumper doesn't have his own shield and you have a guaranteed hook. And I just think Sansa didn't listen, didn't think, who knows. And by the time this hook comes in, Bumper is already 3 seconds down, so I don't know. He can block the hook as well with his Fortify. I think they're just lucky that they got picks there. Is it viable to play a form of dive to pressure Corey? Could Titans play to their strengths or have to mirror here? I'm thinking how Sinatra went Trace against Gladiators, not meta, but more comfortable on it. So this Orisa Hog comp is usually anti-dive on super open maps. In order to play dive, sorry about that, let's... so in order to play dive, you need to set up the traces somehow to come from behind while your Winston jumps in and all that stuff. I think it's too difficult to play dive into Orisa Hog on attack because of the orb hook. You need something, well, you can eat orb if you have a diva that can eat it. But you have to play for zaps as Winston, so you have to like jump to the hut here, and instead you run like Tracer Widow, and you have your Widow contest Corey instead of a Tracer or Winston. So Titans, they rotate indoors, use Dragon, transfer the Dragon, try to get Corey. Now Trans kinda wasted, or was it wasted? Yeah, it was kind of wasted because of Immortality Field. That's kind of a waste. Nice block there by Stratus. That's super easy. Anyone can do that. Chat, if you were in this game, you could do it too. That's how easy it is. Jonas holds a bit too far up here alone. So while everyone else heads around, I think the objective for Jonas is in order to, how to say, the objective is to hold on point. But instead of moving in alone, he sets it up in the hut and breaks line of sight. This is normal. I think there's overemphasis on Haxal, no, Hurig I mean. Because everyone responds to Hurig. So someone calls out, okay, Hurig from behind. Could be Corey, could be anyone. And sure, you can pressure Hurig, but I think Corey can take that duel himself. See here. Hurig is gonna kill Ark and Jonas. and then everyone else dies right after. So Jonas here, I think he's playing correct, but he's playing correct only if he's gonna get support. Now if he doesn't get support, he has to basically vote it back out here and then come from here. This, or instead of backing into a hut, he backs into this place here. Like this choke here. Because then if you're on high ground, you're not going to be able to use a window. And you need to sit up like this in order to shoot down. And he can just keep 1 foot on point here. So it depends on like what the plan is for Justice. If they plan to rotate on whatever callout, flanking, whatever, then I think Jonas follows. And he has to be aware of Maywall about to block him, or able to block him. That's just 2 really easy picks because of that panic with Hureg. I think, or I feel like it's Sansam messing up there because he shouldn't be rotating with, because then, yeah, Jonas loses pressure. I'm not sure though, we can't guarantee. But that's what it looks like. Titans stick off high ground as well. And Bumper is gonna get picked early. Oh, yep, no, Jonas gets picked early. I mean, and that's because Bumper, he does what he's good at and he's holding W. You see speeding here. Now this is 2.x times 2 speed, I mean. I feel like Bumper is a bit, how to say, not Pepega or Narissa, but he's a bit inefficient on Narissa. Like there's no reason for him to walk up like this. Like this is sort of reenacting what he does on Reinhardt, which is taking damage from everyone at once. He takes all the damage, or he would just wants to line up with the mech in the background to look it straight into their like eyes and wave to, I don't know, there's like Jeff up here setting. But yeah, jokes aside, everyone can shoot him from here. He probably didn't mean to step up there. And then if you look at the shield as well, there's a small gap here. So if he wants to break LOS, he can still be shot. Jonas on the other hand. Watch this. Orb. And all he wants to do is be, how to say, not be efficient, but he wants to shield and greed. And the reason this is greed is because he's waiting too much with the Risa shield. So what you normally do is you shoot the Risa shield around the corner. But what he doesn't see, he probably doesn't see, maybe like the, say, the gunners were like foggy. Corey, he's here. He's zooming in with his eyes. He has Terminator eyes. He's just like target acquired. Oh, not Corey, I mean Hureg. He's just like selecting target. He didn't even shoot, but yeah. John is dead. How come John and Jonas have so similar names? No idea. I think it's just a coincidence. So, Maywall, May freeze, Stratus uses his May ult. Bumper didn't get any heals there. How come? Oh, he did get heals, but there was a reload. Oh yeah, just not enough heals. Unfortunate reload timing. And yeah. There's nothing to say about Corey popping off, like that's just raw mechanics. Does Zen and Baptiste provide enough heal for the team? I think so, because you have Immortality Field for the hook, you have Immortality Field for everything, and then you have Trance, as well as Discord for the window. And I think Titans, they just go whatever Justice went on attack, which is, yeah, when you set up the window, you have a disco target and you just insta-shot someone. Bumper, he died to the same reason Jonas died, greed with the shield. And here's the reason for why Orisa is so weak. It's because when you walk up, it takes so much time, you just can't really walk up. And this is where, for example, dive would be better. You could play dive into this, I think. Maybe not Genji. Maybe not Doomfist. But you can play, for example, Tracer with... actually, you could play Tracer Genji. You could play Pharah. No, not Pharah. Actually, no. I don't know. It's not Fury crafting here. But all they are gonna do here is just sit and deny the entry for Titans. Titans, they realize, oh shit, we can't walk up. Let's take a elevator. Okay. No, they don't take the elevator. I thought this was the push where they go for the like thingy that moves. All right. Also, the high ground spam onto shield destroys the shield instantly. Now, Justice, just kite back and get a pick on Haxal. Bongos and window used. There's a Immortality Field. I think Immortality Field is out. By arc, yeah, it was out. Haxal dead, which means you can't really walk in, there's no wall. And you just have to wait.
60 seconds remaining.
Avoid getting picked. Jonas is setting up shield, like pretty much why not shield? Go for the corner there. I want to see that hook by Sansam. Okay, was blocked by a shield. That's a massive nade as well. Okay. They're gonna trade ults here pretty soon.
This is going to hurt.
May wall used. And then Hurig dead. Jonas still has his fortify, so they can't push in too far. And this is a dangerous position for Sansam to be in, because if he doesn't get anything with this hook, then all Titans have to do is orb hook themselves. But I think that his position was used as a bait.
60 seconds remaining.
We take a look here. So soon they're gonna drop down. I think Bumper is target calling or shot calling. Gotta wait for the shield as well, yeah. Now here's a small thing for the orb, or like mechanic, micro mistake. That's unfortunate shield, that's whatever. But watch this orb. This orb here, it's not gonna do anything. It's so easy to avoid this orb. I think that he just wants to pull Jonas to the side. I don't think he wants to go for a hook or anything. Jonas, he has to use Fortify unless he shields. You can avoid it with shield. That's fine. And Jonas even positions himself to block for the hook, I think. Because it looks like they want to protect Sansam. Then wall comes up and all the stuff from Haxal. their own orb. Corey kills Hurek, that's whatever. But now everyone is straight up looking towards Sansam and Stratus. So I think that's why it's a bait. They just take all the attention, force the attention, and then trap with the Mayolt. And then Trance used, Hog ult used, kinda panic mode, I think. I think it's panic mode. And the Titans, they now set themselves up for loss
10 seconds remaining.
because of using those ults. Also gotta keep in mind, like, it was 10 seconds left or 15 seconds left, so it's very difficult. I'd say actually they didn't set themselves up for loss, now that I think of it, because they wouldn't be able to touch. But at which point did it all go downhill though? Okay, so this is last fight. And you don't have Mayolt, they have Mayolt.
30 seconds remaining.
Guess the issue is that Corey gets picked off here.
All better. For now.
I mean Hurek. Holy shit. That, yeah. That's unexpected. Yeah, that's the worst case scenario. People dying right at the like sub 30 mark. That's when the last fight is like over. All right, let's go for the next one. Hollywood.
Ready for battle.
And that arrow, that's something you just can't predict.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
So to sum up Volskaya,
5, 4, 3,
it looks like Titans, they don't even care about Corey. Like, they don't even try to shut down Corey. And I think Titans' game plan is that they try to focus on the weakest parts of a team, like the weakest chain, instead of shutting down the strongest, how to say, maybe not every team, but in this case, they try to like win with their own win conditions, and they force their own win conditions rather than shutting down the enemy win conditions. And usually Western teams, they try to shut down the strongest chain, link in the chain, like Fantastic Toes says, while Korean teams usually try to go for their own, how to say, their own plays. I think it's more efficient to go for your own play, but in this case you have to adapt because Corey is shutting down your own play by duels. Alright, so Hurek from behind, he faded. That's a normal setup. Now, he kind of got stuck here, he's kind of screwed, and that's just a terrible setup now. Or could have been.
defend objective A.
Taking off.
That's scouted, that's nice. That should always be scouted. And this May wall as well blocks, yeah, it blocks the Reaper. And Jonu, just being careless, gets hooked. Not good. Not good. So that's how you lose first point. Well, this is like a really good way to lose first point as Titans. And now you have to play safe. You have to, yeah, not die. Okay, so Bumper dies. Let's see why. Oh, he's greeting again. He got orbed by Jonas as well. Yeah, he's just greeting. The fortify comes out a bit too late. And here's the thing as well. if you fortify before you place down the shield and before the enemy orb and hook comes out, they are just gonna wait. They wait out the fortify and then the orb hook, and then you're dead. But the way you can play around it is you put shield like this so that it blocks orb hook with the like rooftop or whatever. But then you have a hard time contesting. They can blow up the shield. Is it gonna be enough time for it to come back? Probably not. So I think in both cases, Bumper's gonna die if he wants to show himself. Pulled through the shield. Oh, the reason he was pulled through the shield was, I think it was jumping, but the momentum from the orb. We can see it here. Let's see. He would have... So yeah, I don't think it would have mattered if he jumped. Because the orb was here, right here. So he would be dragged down regardless. Now, maybe the orb wouldn't have had line of sight if he didn't jump. But that's, you know, it's hard. It's really hard to outplay that. I don't think it's... there's any easy way to do it. But yeah, the biggest issue was Johnny getting picked at the start. Like he was off position here doing nothing. Wait. People are dying. So Stratus, he freezes ice blocks first. Axel going low. Guido dead. Not good. I think Guido probably could have positioned that better. But there's freeze from Haxal. Oh, he freezes first again. That's a nice freeze by Haxal. If you're the one freezing first, you automatically win. Okay, Guido couldn't position any better. Just have to rotate. Ended up dying. Then Bumper rolling through with 1 HP. Bumper dead. Stratus about to die. And then Coalescence. That's a massive Coalescence. Mick dead. Let's see. Haxa goes in for Janu. Mortality field didn't come up. Or popping off. Titans had a real chance at getting that. Or they still have them in. What's the reason for that then? What's the reason for losing this? Like, where does it turn? So Bumper dead. Ah, Hoover comes back. Okay, he's dead. Ah, Slime kills Corey. Okay, that's why. So when the person who's clicking heads in your team is dead, everyone else can't really do anything. Okay. Now you have Strata still. Wait, what was Guido doing? Oh, he got walled off. Okay, okay. He was walled off. It's just good stall. Good stall by Haxal here at the end. That's a nice wall he made. So the wall comes out. Bumper dead. He's on ball, so he's gonna come back quickly. I think it's just unfortunate timings for Justice. Especially that wall coming up, like that's just unfortunate. His slime is gonna die. Haxal dying soon. No. Or dead again. I honestly think it's just that wall that Haxal did here that just bought enough time for everyone else to come in. Because everyone kept chasing Haxal, which meant free space here, free space here. You take over point. However, now you have a pretty scuffed comp on Titan side. The ball is not too bad. You just can't engage with the ball. You have to let them walk in. Now Bumper goes for the most obvious, the absolutely most obvious role in the world. Yeah, we're gonna see this from Sansam's perspective. It's just so obvious. I have no idea what he's looking at. Because, yeah, ball is rolling in, like straight forward. This is so easy. You see Jonas reacting as if it's Australian ping. Same thing with Sansam. This should be hooked. Hooked or orbed. Orbed and hooked actually. But orb is too late. And then they start turning around way too late. And now Reaper is in the back. And this is what Bumper wants. He wants this attention. Because then that's going to allow Twilight to just orb. Jonah to go in and damage. You have a slime, etc. Haxal. Haxal is dead, of course. But they're giving in to the ball.
Pass into the iris.
Then Panic Trance comes out. I don't think Panic Trance was necessary. And it's such an overreaction to Bumper.
Cease your resistance.
Titans, they're just doing things. They're not, how to say, planning anything, I think. Then Mines shutting off escape. And here's when ball sucks. Yeah, when you gotta go into May. And I honestly think the only reason Justice wins this is because of picks like from Corey and Stratus. That's the only reason. Stratus, this is such a wide angle, by the way. This is such a wide angle, but there's not enough, how to say, you don't have any Hanzo, you don't have a Widow, you don't have McCree, anything like that that will kill Stratus when he's on wide angle. So he can go on these wide angles. That's why he's just surviving so easily.
Clear.
So Haxal dead. Hook missed.
Into the iris.
And then Jonas not Jonas, but Jonu gets farmed. There's not much he can do. You know, he's just sitting there, discorded.
Cease your resistance.
Yeah, I just don't think there's no strategical advantage that Justice has here. It's simply just getting a pick early and then a May ult. Like, check out a May ult. That's like it's sort of like the old Storm arrow. You just chuck it somewhere into a choke and you just get 2 random headshots. Back when it could headshot, I mean. Alright, now Titans back on Orisa. This is a mistake in my opinion. Because with the Orisa, it actually depends on if it's a mistake. It depends on which perspective you're looking at. Because if you want to contest the cart really early, Orisa is really weak. Because enemies, they're going to have high ground position, they're going to shoot above your shield, and your shield means nothing. And you're going to play very egoistic with your shield. Now, instead, what you could do is go ball. You can go even Winston. You scrap the Reaper after ult though. Actually, you can dive in with the Reaper. I'm not sure if Orisa is the right choice. But that's only on defense, like when It's the first fight. Since high ground here is so strong.
冻住，不许走！
In any case, Meowth comes out. And Dragon comes out as well. Good guild. This is fine. And now Orisa is super strong on defense because you can hold the choke. You have so much control over the choke. And your Orisa can be alone contesting. That's a nice wall by Stratus. I think that's an easy wall. Let's see here.
不许走！
Yeah, that's a pretty easy wall. Pretty easy one. Nice. Then Slime dead. Slime, he went for the setup, like just Goat's bomb setup. I think he should have gone for it. So him dying there is just a result of blocking the bomb. And yeah. Uruk didn't get anything. Everyone else dead. Shit happens. Then a massive stagger while pushing payload. It's not that bad because you're gonna get another fight. A really surprising thing is that Titans, they wait with the re-engage. They wait way too much. Because now Core is gonna have free reign with his dragon. And I guess the reason for it is because they want to use the Diva. So both walls used. And yeah, now Dragon comes in.
Resistance.
How do you stop Dragon? You don't really stop it.
冻住，不许走！
It's just really awkward for Titans. May wall, May ult.
Resistance.
Coalescence doesn't do anything. And you gotta respect the bongos as well, so that's why you have Haxal here crouching by the payload to avoid damage but also contest. And now no one can contest, Bumper is dead, it's all over. Alright, let's go next. I think that Titans shouldn't have waited that long for the Diva. Another dragon. Nice combo there. Forces the beat.
不许走！
And then a nice wall. Oh, wait. So, wall comes out with the May ult, but no one could get any kills there.
不许走！
What's up, Propensy? Alright, so Mortality Field is out. Oh, it's right there in the wall. Oh, that's just a great Immortality Field. Okay. Nice orb. Nice orb hook him into window. Even though Jonas is dead. Let's see, even though Jonas is dead. Bumper is also dead. You gotta deal with the hog ult. Nice wall by Stratus. It's not a big deal, but it keeps the payload pushing. There we go, orb hook. I'll try to get a good angle here. So May ult covers for 2 people. Is the Corey dead?
冻住，不许走。
Oh no, okay. Hook into the Mei ult, and because of the Mei ult, they can't escape. Well, they can, but Bumper doesn't escape. How come he doesn't escape? Yeah, he's fortified, he's safe. Yeah, I just have no idea. I think that Bumper just wants to go for the kill here, and that's why. But there's not enough damage. Was he even shooting the heads? Okay, he's definitely shooting heads. Yeah, okay. Now we know why he's dead. Overstaying. So because Bumper is dead, and because John is dead as well, you don't really have any way to keep space. Everyone else dies, and that's a cap. Alright, let's go next round.
Initiating. Ready for battle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
So far in the series, it looks like Titans, the game plan that they're prepped with, if they have prepped anything, is to shoot Jonas, which is a viable strat. Like, if you're ever playing in a team and you have no idea of what to do, default to shooting tanks. Like, that's just the best thing you can default to, because tanks make space, they hold space, they are at every payload corner, they're the ones touching, they are the center of everything. So it's a pretty safe strat. However, they don't have enough damage for killing the tanks due to the Mei. That's a nice orb into nade. Should that have been eaten earlier?
Get through this.
Gonna see. They are sonicked as well. Yeah, they were sonicked, which means nade is gonna come in before the Diva Matrix and all that stuff, and if you don't scout the Sonic, there's nothing you can eat. Sansam kills Twilight. Jono, he gets killed by Corey here on the flank. Now he had a pretty standard position. Or I'd say he had a standard position. Going here for Corey is fine. But when you don't have the barrage anymore, you can't kill him, and that's when you have to fall back. Ureg on the other end. Why is he here? Oh, he was oh yeah, okay, he came from behind. But yeah, losing that mech is pretty bad. I think it's a standard position, since you back into the stairs usually. Actually, he should have backed into the stairs. And yeah, Corey killing people. Okay, we see a rotation, alley. And now you have Nano on Justice side, you have Coalescence on Titan side. With a male coming up. Bumper's super low, by the way. Wanna go back here. That hook on Bumper shouldn't have came in. That should have been fortified. Oh, it's just a bad shield. He probably was thinking, okay, shield... Nah, I don't know. He shouldn't be thinking shield is gonna block the hook. He should be thinking, okay, I fortify now. That's what he should be thinking. But he didn't. Then he fortifies. You see, you don't gain anything on fortifying after that compared to before. So I think it's a mistake. And then Johnny just, how to say, saved him, happened to save him.
不洗澡。
And this would be so sick if they cap while they're frozen off point. Stratus with a sick Mei ult. Pretty clutch Mei ult, blocking the cafe as well. And that's a lot of ults used by, well, not a lot of ults. It's one big ult used by Titans. A lot of ults for Justice though. Bongos, Mei ult, Nano. We're gonna do this map, and then we do
60 seconds remaining.
Hunters instead, because this is the last map where Justice wins. And these are the only ones that really matter. Sick TP up by Hureg. Did he sneak that TP up? Oh no, he flanked.
60 seconds remaining.
What? He just flanks up. Ark seemed to have a pretty good series. Yeah, he did fine. He did really good with his windows. It's a problem when a Reaper can just walk up to you though. That's a huge problem. Was this match a 4-0? It was. It was. But I'm gonna only do 3 maps because the 4th one doesn't really, how to say, matter that much because I think Titans just mentally boomed afterwards. This is a huge problem though. Like Titans getting up for free like this should never happen. Should never happen. Ark is just clutch here with his immortality field. Someone should be scouting this. And someone should be Corey. You should be able to see the flank. Now, if you're focused tunnel visioning here, he was focusing a lot on his shots. I don't blame him because it ended up carrying for Justice. Yeah, if you do that, you can't really check this flank. And that tells me that Justice hasn't set up any scouting. It's just literally, okay, everyone look here and here. That's what the wizard says. My database says, okay, look here and then do this when, I don't know, sonicking. And since he was crouching, you couldn't go by sound. So Hureg dead. Coalescence used, didn't get anything with Coalescence. Now everyone is split as well. And the Bongos? No idea. Nice kill on Sansam. And that's a Mei... Wait, that's a... Mech remake ult, I think. Yeah, that's a remake ult. He didn't have his boosters.
30 seconds remaining.
And then you have another Mei ult. Pretty effective ult, right? Strahd is dead. Let's see Corey. Couldn't kill. Ureg kills everyone. Alright, that's a cap.
Stop the payload.
And now Ureg on Sombra. The Sombra I think is there for the Diva. Also there for the Mei. And for the Batiste. Well, not Diva, I mean Hog. Window plus Dragon, pretty simple combo. The thing is, it's so badly coordinated that Dragon doesn't even go through the window. So, whatever you see about Washington talking about, okay, we picked this roster because of 2-2. They didn't. They just got saved by Core and Stratus today. Pretty much Core Stratus arc. You know, everyone playing well individually. This is not well coordinated. So that's 2 kills with the Dragon. No defensive, pretty good. So how to say, zoning as well to the right here.
Cease your resistance.
Okay, so Mei wall. Try to block people. I think it was a Mei to trap people, I mean, not blocking them. Nice Mei. Nice nade. Orb. Into more shots. Now Corey, he can go on whoever he wants, basically. So that's 2 kills, but everyone else died. See here from outside of his perspective, what happened? Was it Jonas getting frozen? Was that all? Okay, so Nano comes out on Stratus. He's hacked. Means no wall, nothing. And then Jonas dies. Oh, he has Fortify. Oh, he couldn't use Fortify before he got frozen. That's unfortunate. You know what he should be doing? He should be running backwards, not to the side. He just stays and shoots, or keeps shooting. I think he's I don't think he's greedy. It's just overestimating, I mean, how safe he is. Because I'm pretty sure no Orisa would do that. Like, that's not something you do as an Orisa. You have to break OS from the Mei. You know if Phasix is as good, if not better than Arc? No, I don't think so. There's no way. He didn't perform. He hasn't, how to say, there's no proof that he is. Scrims can say how, you know, whatever they say. If he's sick in scrims, then he's sick in scrims, but he has to show that under pressure on stage when there's people around him, you know, looking at him. And he has to perform. So far we haven't seen it. We have with Arc. And Arc is also way more experienced. People say Wizard just prefers Arc because of Nixel. I have no info on that. Even if he does, that's, you know, their choice. That's their decision. See a late contest. Shield placement is pretty bad. Shield placement is terrible, actually. Let's see if there's... Let's see if there's any better shield you could put out. Yeah, that's... Okay, he's just way too quick with the shield. So if you aim a tiny bit higher up with Orisa, we go back like this, normal speed.
Let the dragon consume you.
So instead of aiming towards the May's feet, you have to aim at her heel basically, or maybe in half of the foot, and you're still gonna cover the boxes and here, and you'll be able to contest. He just needs more practice time on Orisa. This is 100% just not playing enough Orisa. That's why he's kinda weak on the Orisa here. Since we don't have to be Elon Musk to know that cart is not gonna be contested from here. And if he walks close enough to the shield, maybe here, his head is gonna pop out at the top here. So the shield becomes useless now because he has to use Fortify and doesn't have his shield, and then he gets shot from everywhere. And then he backs up to the shield anyways, and there's no one who can contest. Nice hook on Jono there. And luckily, this is luckily at least. Oh, I mean, everyone else comes in and can contest. If it wasn't for Sansa and Stratus coming from behind, this cap would have been completely gone. And I think that's just an on-the-fly thing they did. Corey getting 2 picks there, that's whatever. The main point is that cart was contested from behind. Because yes, Jonas by accident, I think, took all the attention. Unless they used the Season 1 Shanghai strat where they sacrificed the tank. Which I don't think they do. Alright, so Hurek close to an EMP. Haxal has a Mayolt, Bumper, Bongos, Slime, Beat. Justice, you have Dragon, Bongos, and close to Nano. That's that orb hook was blocked by the wall there as well, unintentionally. Very small thing to notice. Guido setting up for good nade here. It's so easy for him to just get good nades and heal from up here. Let's look at this. Jono dead. There's one small thing I want to put how to say emphasis on, and it's the shield placement here. It's fine. I think you can tilt the shield a bit more towards you and play like Evil Toaster style. You just sit in a corner, chilling. But it's not necessary, you're gonna contest. The upside is you protect your teammates coming in from behind, but you easily get frozen. So there's hack, well, I mean EMP, you can't fortify, but there's no hog. And then he's frozen, that's not good. And there's cap. Okay, let's go next. This is a bit too far for the car to push. Okay, how many people are alive? Everyone is alive. You don't have a Lucio though. I think it's a mistake. Is it a mistake? No, I think it's a mistake to hold this far back. And this is a huge mistake because it's 1 minute and they have 2 ults. You want to make them use those ults and you have a dry fight. You can build your own, but you're going to build their ults as well. So maybe... I'm not sure if it is a mistake or not. But you can have someone contest payload further up. Maybe they are afraid of Axel. I don't think they should be. Yeah, it's weird to see this.
60 seconds remaining.
Because what is the reason for holding this far back unless you want a really long fight? But then what stops Titans from just pushing in with their own ults? Can you have a decent second fight if you hold first corner? Yeah, you can. If you take the fight here while the cart is pushing down and you die here, you have another fight over here. Easily. But then the thing is, Haxal, he might get his ult, and when you're walking out of spawn, he might just put out ult here, like right here. And then it's gonna cover the bus, gonna cover these doors, and you just cap for free, I guess. So maybe that's why. And they've probably encountered it in scrims, and they just don't feel comfortable holding up. I think they should hold further up, but that's just my opinion. So they go for an orb hook. Haxal getting picked there. Was that an easy orb hook? Oh. Yeah, he should be a wall. He should be ice blocking here. Yeah, this should be ice block. Because Bumpy uses his fortify. And you might as well use your ice block as well. Maybe he thought he would be out of range. Oh wait, we gotta check Bumper's orb hook. Oh. You see what they do? They split off the Rissa with the Hog and everyone else when Orb comes in. But that makes it... Go for a standoff with the hooks. Yeah, this... it's not that bad. Like he just released the Orb a bit too early. Or Haxal was standing in front of Bumper. No, Bumper flew by. Flew by. Bumper was closer. He didn't have fortify there. No.
30 seconds remaining.
And now John is switching to D.Va as well for the orb. Now, I don't think Justice intended on getting that hook. Like, that's pure gamble if they did. That's like me rolling dice on my like desktop or like desk here. And now you have all these ults coming out. Jono, he tried to eat the Mayot, didn't eat it, gets frozen, killed. There's a dragon on cart. Easy avoid. Hook on May, and everyone else dies. No, wait. Who kills everyone? Alright, so Stratus is dead. Fade used. Fade used here, by the way. Fade used. Hook comes in. But there's not enough damage. I want to go back here. That should have been a kill. I think Stratus is a bit... No, he's fine, he's fine. Shield breaks. Okay, now it goes in. That's fine. Want to see from Jonas' perspective. Yeah, guys, I found something here. This is not big, it's kinda small. But he's reloading at 100 shots all the time. He's sitting here reloading while they're walking in. You don't do this usually. Well, you can right before they engage. But he's also shooting nothing. Another reload at 100 shots. He's not doing anything. Now, I'm not gonna hate on Jonas or anything, but it's... I don't, you know, this is just to debunk the whole, oh, we picked 222, we picked this roster for 222. Like, this is just to debunk that. This is not why they picked it. Okay, let's see. Ori. Wow. This is why Justice are winning. This is why. Not because of the strats or anything. Only because of Corey and Stratus, I think. No, not only, but yeah, you know what I mean. Here. Watch this, chat. How do you deal with that as Hurek? You can't. How do you deal with that as anyone? You can't. This is the stuff that makes them win. Jonas shooting the ground in the air, reloading at 110 shots when enemies are in his face. That's not making them win. Sansa missing orb hooks. That's not making them win. Arc can't save everyone. There's long cooldowns. That's not gonna make them win. It's not gonna make them win. Well, he can nade, but there's a nade now here. He can sleep. That's gonna make them win. He can sleep the Reaper. Okay, let's keep watching Corey. And unfortunately, C9. Unfortunately. I mean, Ido has been nice with, he has been good with his nades. And you can see some of the nade setups they have with like Sonic into a nade. and then you can like pressure with Mei and Hanzo. And yeah, even if they got the overtime, they won. This is when they won. So whatever happens here for Justice, they won the match. Titans, I think they shit the bed. They didn't really think about. They didn't really think about Corey popping off, and you can't. Now, they didn't really try to pressure him either. That's a different topic. They tried to pressure Jonas to make Jonas mess up. The only thing that's gonna mess up is the aim though, and that's just more practice required. Maybe wrist injuries, like that kind of stuff as well, who knows. Good entry by Justice. Oh, the bumper slept there. Wait, how come that wasn't hooked? Oh, hooked used earlier. Ah, that's unfortunate. There's window.
30 seconds remaining.
Wanna see Corey? Just a lot of spam on the shield there. Nice. Nice headshot. Dude. How do you deal with this? He's the one making space for the team, and any Hanzo would make space like that. Like when a Hanzo pops off, there's simply nothing you can do. Well, there's some stuff you can do, like trying to block his shots, make it harder for him to hit the shots, make him choose poor angles, make him have fewer options with angles. You don't really care about the orb hook combo anymore. Well, you have to care about it. Now, if you can play, what could you play? You could go full dive versus him. Yeah, you can honestly go full dive actually, I think. But or you can go fair as well. Anyways, to sum up this match, I'm not gonna do the last map because it doesn't matter. It's the win is here, and I already know exactly. Okay, Justice, they don't really have that strong as tactics. It's more about who pops off. Havana is the saddest Overwatch match ever. Wasn't that Titans just losing to the Stratus back? How to say, spawn Pharah? What about my face? Wait. Oh, was I too close to the lights? I don't know. Anyways. So if Justice completely dominated one of the best teams in Overwatch League, why did they have a bad score? You mean like why they had a bad score overall? I think it's because of bad coaching. I don't think it's because well, it's because of bad coaching, because back when it was goats only, you couldn't pop off on Zarya like you can on Hanzo, you couldn't pop off on heroes like Doomfist, Mei, and you were more limited, so to say, if you were a DPS that relies heavily on mechanics. And I think the poor coaching made it so that Justice, they lagged behind everyone else. They didn't have enough development or like traction in scrims, and got outsmarted, outstratted. The teams were more efficient on goats, and yeah, I think that's the reason there. And now that it's DPS meta, people aren't ready for Corey to pop off, so they don't plan on one Corey, and then what do you do on the fly? Like, it's really hard to make up a plan, and that's why Titans lost, I think.